I'm going to keep this fairly short because I am minus my selfie stick, and therefore my left arm will probably get a little bit tired after a while. So this is all about belief and positive psychology, because this morning my wife asked me, have you booked that appointment with the urologist yet? And I said, no, I will get onto it, but to be completely honest, I'm pretty certain by the time I go and see them, this problem will either have surpassed or be on the mend. And she said, oh, I wish I could have your psychology. And the reason why she said that is because my poor wife has been going through a bit of ill health over the last few months, and the answers aren't there. Some of the answers are there, but a lot of them aren't. And therefore every morning when she wakes up with some of the symptoms, it's very difficult for her to have the positive psychology that she needs in order to get through the day, knowing that at some point this will surpass. And I said to her, you know, I haven't got what you've got, so I don't know how I would deal with it. I know that had I been going through what I'm going through a few years ago, I know I wouldn't have coped as well as I do now, and that is because of the methods that I employ, and actually sometimes it's because of you lot. In fact, a lot of the time it's because of you lot and your wisdom, your thoughts, and also just because I'm talking to you on a camera. I guess the problem with us blokes, and that's the other reason for this video actually, the sometimes stoic, sometimes stiff upper lip, sometimes piss-taking attitude of the British helps. Sometimes it doesn't. I think when it comes to health, it really helps. And one of the things though that us blokes are not very good at is talking to other blokes or other family members about our problems. And I don't think that will ever change. It's something inbuilt in us that makes us somewhat inadequate when it comes to spilling the beans. Now, one of the things I'm definitely not into is washing my dirty laundry to you lot. I don't believe in that. It doesn't help you, and that's what these videos are meant to do, aren't they? In me pouring out my thoughts and ramble to you, you're helping me because I'm able to now talk about some of the issues I'm facing. But I know that also some of these videos will help you in return. And one of the things that I constantly have to remind myself about actually is to talk to others, be it other blokes or just other people out there, and just tell them, you know, what I'm going through. So without giving you too much detail, certainly the last few months have been somewhat challenging. I've just come back with my family from holiday, and that really helped because it was really true R&R. If you've seen my other video on the 5 Tibetan rites that I've just put out, you'll see some of that holiday there in the destination. And again, I would highly recommend, if you're a family and you want to get some good R&R, go to this hotel, Karima Beach Hotel, because everything's laid out in front of you. You walk out of your apartment, you've got your bed there, sunbed type thing. Walk a few yards, you've got your pool. Walk a few yards more, you open a gate and you're on the beach. Food is all inclusive, so it's all chucked in. You don't have to think or do anything if you don't want to, and we didn't for 2 weeks. And we definitely needed it. And I was kind of hoping actually things would have accelerated, which they did to an extent for both of us, but not significantly. And my wife is still going through this journey, and she will be, I would think, for some time. So because I'm having to step it up a little bit more, do a lot more duties around the house, try and figure out how I can crowbar my work in, especially on days like this. Taking Winston for a walk is no issue, but I know I've got to pick up my son again later, which I wouldn't normally do on a Thursday, for example. There is a chance that there may be a number of days where it's just going to be single parent time for a few days. So in order to deal with all of that, it definitely helps to have a certain psychology and belief. You know, in my case, it's a belief that things are going to get better. I know that they will. And actually, having gone through previously some of the stuff that I've gone through, I know that any challenging time I learn from. it's quite hard when you go through your first challenging moment to have that mindset of, oh, I'm going through a challenging time. That's good because I'm going to learn. But you do, and I can categorically state that. It's very difficult to believe that when you're in the shit, as it were. But you do, you really do come out of it learning and gaining. So having gone through that before, I know that the stuff that we're going through right now, these challenging times, will help us both. We will have gained. So going back lastly then to the British attitude of things, it sometimes really does help. So I do choose a couple of friends that I would turn to in times like this in order to talk to them, because they're not going to lend a real sympathetic ear, because I don't want that. I don't like hearing that. I don't want somebody to go, oh, poor you. It doesn't help me. It only exacerbates the psychological problem in my mind. What I want is somebody to take the mickey out of me. You know, to take, in British colloquialism terms, to take the piss. And I genuinely believe that helps. Blokes are very good at it. There's a couple of female friends that I know that are also very good at it. And it's really good. And when you combine that also with this supposed British stiff upper lip, which really I don't think we have in great quantities anymore. It's something that we had during the war and post-war. People just had this get on with it attitude. My mum is a really good proponent of this, and she is exactly that. She's had some health problems and you wouldn't even know it. You know, you'd have to probe it out of her to understand what's going on, because she just has this mental attitude of, I'll just get on with it. Everything's going to be fine. You know, just deal with it. And that kind of attitude, I think, helps when it comes to health issues. But also, obviously, knowing that you don't have to go through it on your own obviously helps. And I really do mean this as a passing comment now, last comment. I've said this before on a few of my other videos. I do consider you as therapy. Even though I can't see who I'm talking to, just being able to spill the beans, albeit to a camera, definitely helps me. So anyway, there is my brief ramble for you, and I don't know whether any of that's going to help you or not if you're going through the poo at the moment. But if you are going through some shit, know that it does end, and know that you do gain in the end. You know, there's lots of other methods, by the way, that I employ in order to keep my mind in the right state, to continue the belief that I have. Most of those methods I've already described in my videos, so do check out my other videos. I am still a big proponent of the use of a clinical hypnotherapist. Even when things are going well, I see one, because they help keep my mind on track. You know, they help compartmentalize my thoughts that accrue throughout the day. Anyway, ramble over. Evolution of Dave signing off. Thank you for watching TTFN. By the way, if you don't know what that means, ta-ta for now. Bye-bye.